I'm GamerFitnation's Antwand, Pearman, also known as Black Bible, and this is NBA 2K for PlayStation 4 with my man Rob. We said Rob Jones.
Yeah,
right?
Rob Jones.
Rob Jones. Gonna tell you all about the game. So can you tell us a little bit about what's different for the next gen? I mean, obviously the graphics, the visual is bananas. So what else can you tell me?
Well, I mean, you know, the graphics are just a. I don't want to say just because, you know, we put a lot of work into it, but what you see in the graphics is kind of the whole entire philosophy of the entire game. You know, one look, congruent, everything. You know, you look at the crowd, you look at the players and how real they look, and just making the game just come to life for the first time ever on any console. You look at you know, the quality of the faces, the emotion that they can express, and we've incorporated those types of things into the actual gameplay. So, you know, as you see guys emote within the game, they're actually also being affected from a performance standpoint, you know, which is something that we wanted to recreate so that we could get guys like you know, DeMarcus Cousins and J.R. Smith, you know, or, you know, guys like Rudy Gay, guys who on paper perform like superstars,
yeah,
but in real life have a lot of ups and downs, you know. And we couldn't get that right without bringing the personality and emotion of the player into the game. So that's just one of the new things. You know, other things that you'll see in a game in terms of improved gameplay stuff. You know, we've worked heavily on making the game feel more grounded, so that when I move, I don't feel like I slide. I actually have to shift my weight before I can go places.
Wow.
Physics on the ball, you know, we actually have the right spin when I'm doing crossovers, when I'm doing spin moves. You know, that ball comes back up with the speed based on the speed that I gave it going down, just so that I can get, you know, that right response. Things that, again, that, you know, we concerned ourselves with in old gen, but not enough to make them a priority, if that makes if that's, you know, clear.
So tell us a lot of other game modes, because I know, like, you know, that's one thing that was like you had some pretty cool game modes. Some that took away, some came back.
No, you know, what we essentially went and did for game modes is we took our most popular game modes, but we started thinking, well, you know, the experience has been the same essentially the past 2 or 3 years. What can we do differently and bring it and make it new to the user? So you take my career, which is the most played mode in NBA 2K, and, you know, you create a guy, you go to the league. Well, it used to be I create a guy, I get through that rookie showcase, I get drafted, now I play, and as long as I hit the little objectives, I get some points, I upgrade my guy, and I play again.
Yeah.
You know, now it's actually a fully story-driven mode. There's cinematics. There's guys that you know, you interact with your agent. You interact with teammates. You got a rival in this thing. Mm-hmm. You know, there's different story-based scenarios throughout your career where, you know, you either going out and getting endorsements. You know, you got a sub for the superstar. I mean, there's all kinds of different little things that you deal with as being an NBA player. And what we wanted the user to experience was not just what does it mean to improve myself through training and through play, but also having to deal with all the things that happen off the court that a normal NBA player has to deal with, you know, as part of his career.
Oh, yeah.
So, you know, so that's my career, and the other part was my GM, which is a new reimagining of online association mode, where, you know, it's kind of a franchise management mode. But, you know, we wanted to change the focus from just sheer team building to actually A, improving yourself at your craft, so you can actually grow as a GM, and B, making sure that every decision that you make and every person that you talk to and every statement that you make when you're talking to people, is held, is important. So that if I make it, if I tell you you're going to get a lot of minutes, but that means I'm taking minutes from Michael over there.
Yeah.
Michael is going to have something to say, whether he wants to leave.
That's crazy.
You know what I'm saying? Whether he wants to leave, or or he starts not performing as well, or he creates disruption in the locker room, whatever it is.
Really?
Right? But the point being is that whenever we are dealing with people and organizations, it's the people aspect that is the most important, and that's what we were trying to really achieve with the new mode. We got this little thing called the park too, right? You heard about that?
Oh, you gotta tell us about the park. You gotta tell us about the park.
So the park is something that I've been dreaming about for years. The park.
Tell me
is
about
this
your
area.
dreams, bro. I'm right here with you, man.
I've always wanted to be able to kind of walk around an area and just step on a court and just call next game.
Yeah.
So the park is this whole huge open area that can hold up to 100 different Mind players. It's online. And when I would step in, there's 7 courts in this park. And I can watch everybody play. Right? And then I can choose which court I want to play on next and get next game. So that's the cool thing is, like, for one thing, we've always wanted to be able to see other online users going at it in the game. We've never been able to spectate. Yeah. So that's one. And two, we wanted to be able to just say, hey, you know what? I want to play those guys.
So now you got spectator mode, you got mode where you can challenge people, like if it was in the streets. Oh, that's pretty.
So that's what's new in next gen for us.
Park is like the biggest feature for online mode, right? Like
it is the biggest feature.
And then, of course, you have your regular modes, but Park is that feature that you want.
Yep.
So, the biggest leap. Man, it just seems like for next gen, you are killing it.
Well, we took a lot of risks. I'm here to tell you, and we, and we hope that we're moving into that right direction. It's been easy to just go safe and just kind of just take on what we've already done. But if you know the history of the franchise, we've kind of never been that way.
It was always about innovation. Last year you had, what was cool is you had produced by executive producer Jay-Z. Yep. So as far as music inspirations, what are you doing this time around?
Well, this whole soundtrack was actually selected by Lebron, which I gotta say, originally I was skeptical about, but well, it's like, hey, but I will say that this is probably the best soundtrack we've ever put together, and really? The reason for it, or the reason I like the reason I say this is because I believe that that it covers everything with high quality. It covers every genre of music with high quality in every area. You know what I mean? It's like. And you got to look at it this way.
So we say executive produced by LeBron.
We're not saying executive produced by LeBron, but the soundtrack was produced by him. But it's one of those things where you look at it, as developers, we got to listen to these tracks, 25, however many tracks are in the game, for months on end. And this it's got to be the first time that I didn't get tired of any track that was in there at all. And it's just because they're all tracks that I want to listen to. Some old, some new. Some old, some new. Mm-hmm. But, I want to listen to them. And I'm really happy about, he could have just selected all hip hop, but he selected a little bit of everything.
And that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So what's the release date?
The release date for us, we're at launch. So
really?
Our game is in stores right now.
No, I'm talking about for the next gen, though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Our game is in stores right now for next gen.
So, to address the elephant in the room, just for the people, and I feel like this is a good thing, but one of your old competitors is back. Yeah. Now, you're already ahead, so that's a good thing, but I feel like it's good that they're back because it puts you on edge. It gets you to that point where, you got some competition. How you feel about this? Like, they're stepping back in the ball game.
The main thing is that we were always on edge anyway. And I'm not saying on edge from like we were scared, but on edge like, hey, you know what? The only way to stay up here is to work the hardest we can because they might be back because they were almost back a couple times. So, we were sitting there and we were like, hey, you know what? We don't want to give them room to come in and be able to take anything from us. and that's that's what's pushed us over over the years.
I mean, I respect that. I respect that. We don't want to give him room.
No
like,
room.
We want to show you that we are the best.
You know how it is the whole kick a man while he's down thing.
I love it. Every time you look, you just see something, visually stunning, or you bring back a legend, or you bring in these rivalries and all that stuff. I'm loving where you're going with it. Keep up the good work, man. Seriously.
We appreciate that.
Awesome. I'm GamerFitnation's Antwand Pearman. Yo, I'm trying to get into 2K.